Jurors deliberated for less than 3 hours before they sentenced Raydon Smith to 27 years in prison for allowing Kelsey to be abused. It's a verdict some have been waiting for since Kelsey's murder in October of 2005.
Fox 25's Britton Follett tells us tonight Raydon's defense attorney denounces what he calls the wrong verdict. Britton.
10 witnesses took the stand to support Raydon Smith. Her lawyers argued Michael Porter killed Kelsey. And since DHS, CASA, even the DA's office could not protect Kelsey from abuse, why should Raydon be blamed? Her lawyer blames us, the media, that Raydon was even charged with a crime. Some knew Kelsey while she was alive.
Because you almost want to look at everyone and say, I told you so.
Others, once she was dead. The legal definition of a homicide is death by the hand of another.
You don't think someone killed her?
No.
30 witnesses with 30 stories led jurors to one guilty verdict. Raydon's lawyer says the news stories and the rallies got her charged in the first place.
I don't understand. I love my baby.
There was a lot of pressure to prosecute this girl. It came from the media. It came from the Briggs family. I think it took 4 months. Why did it take 4 months for the district attorney to file charges?
And once she went to trial.
If you sat through the trial and didn't get the snippets on the news, but if you sat through the trial, I didn't think that the state proved a case that was worth 27 years.
Every day, the jury was reminded not to watch the news and only use the evidence presented in trial.
I thought the evidence clearly pointed to Porter.
The district attorney reminded jurors Michael Porter was not on trial.
There's one purpose you have on this earth when you have children, that is hold them, protect them, and take them. She failed. She failed.
Someone killed Kelsey. No one is convicted of her murder. Both will be in prison until they're at least 50 years old for allowing Kelsey to be abused.
It's fitting. It's very close to what Michael Porter received, and she was equally as guilty as he was.
The end of a big trial about the end of a little life. Huddleston says he believes Raydon's family will appeal yesterday's verdict. He says the judge did not allow certain witnesses to be called, and that could be grounds for the appeal.
I kept thinking Kelsey was given eternity in a cold grave. Her mother should not have a chance at life.
She sentenced Kelsey Briggs' mother to 27 years in prison, but says she would have charged her with murder. Good evening, I'm Jamie Soretta.
I'm Andrew Spino. Tonight, Fox 25's Britton Follett sits down with one of the 12 jurors to find out how they reached their guilty verdict. She has the story first on Fox Tonight. Britton.
They sat through 8 days of testimony, looked at countless pictures of bruises and pictures of a dead 2-year-old. This juror says one decision was unanimous, the other is haunting her.
The first thing we did is we asked, is there anybody in here that believes she's innocent? And not one single person raised their hand.
So they sent Kelsey's mom to prison. Michelle Reeves says 3 of the jurors wanted to give Raydon Smith a life sentence. 6 others wanted to give her more time than they eventually gave her.
If I could go back and read it all, I'd probably still be sitting there.
Michelle says the first day of trial was the first time she ever heard the name Kelsey Smith-Briggs.
I tried to keep the same face on every day that I walked in there, but it was hard.
The first time she saw a picture of the 2-year-old was on the autopsy table.
All of this could have been avoided. And I'm not going to blame all 5 agencies that were involved because, you know, it all comes back to Raydon.
Michelle says she did not buy Raydon's excuses attached with each bruise.
During the closing statements, I mean, she cried there too. And my opinion is the reason why she was crying is because she knew she had been caught.
Who killed Kelsey?
In my eyes, Raydon did. The child was already in the process of dying whenever she left her there with Michael Porter. Don't know what set her off or what caused her to do the injury, but we feel that she did it.
But no one is convicted of Kelsey's murder.
If murder would have been down as a possible deal, that's what we would have went with.
She sent Raydon to prison crying.
I don't understand. I love my baby.
Tears a complete stranger cries over a 2-year-old she never knew.
It's not over with, because I know she's going to get out one day. She's going to be able to breathe air. She's still going to have a life. What's Kelsey getting?
2 jurors only wanted to give Radon a year or so because they thought a year in prison would feel like eternity. Michelle says she held up a picture of Kelsey's dead body saying this is eternity.
Earlier tonight, we heard from one of the jurors who found Radon Smith guilty of allowing the child abuse that killed her daughter, Kelsey Briggs.
The prosecutors in Lincoln County prepared a year and a half for that case, but they had always been under a gag order. Now that the trial is over, so is the gag order. And tonight, District Attorney Richard Smothermon talks to us about Radon Smith, Kelsey Briggs, and how the media handled the case. It's an interview you'll see only on Fox.
I don't have a lot of emotion, to be honest with you, about it. I don't feel good. I don't feel bad.
Richard Smothermon has been immersed in this case since October 12, 2005, the day after Kelsey died.
Every case, when I'm done, especially when I go to trial, I usually have a little bit of a feeling and a little bit of elation that you know, I've successfully prosecuted. I've won. There weren't any winners in this case. There truly weren't any winners.
Smothermon got the verdict he wanted, but it came at a price. When he thinks of the families on both sides of Kelsey's life, he finds it impossible to celebrate his victory.
Those people hurt. I mean, I may have sent someone to prison for 27 years, but that side of the family, I can only imagine, is both angry at me and devastated by the loss of their daughter or niece, and that pains me.
He says the toughest part of the trial was putting Michael Porter, the man he believes murdered Kelsey, on the stand.
It was a decision I made against advice of some other people that were trying the case with me. It was a great deal of risk to put him on the stand because it put the face of the monster in front of that jury. He's such a huge part of the evidence in the case, I thought it improper for me to not present him to the jury. And if it went against me, then I still did what I thought was right.
Smothermon keeps a picture of Kelsey in his office, 2 actually, along with pictures of children from other cases, which makes him wonder why this case got so much attention.
The media, no offense, the media took this case and really gave it a life that I wonder whether it should have had. I found it odd that the media became so consumed and so feverish about this case, and it was a detriment to the case.
How?
The media never is helpful to a case, in my opinion, because I would much rather go sit in front of 12 people and give them the facts and let them make decisions. The media just influences it by the way you report it, whether it's accurate or whether it's not.
Following Kelsey's murder, lawmakers passed a law requiring more training for court-appointed special advocates, or CASA volunteers. This year, the CASA agency assigned to Kelsey's case reported it did not train its volunteers, so it's getting cut off. The CASA volunteer assigned to protect Kelsey Smith-Briggs told the judge she got her training in the Girl Scouts, and after only 2 weeks on the case, recommended she go home to live with her mom. 3 months later, Kelsey was killed.
It's a constant reminder every time you see Kelsey's picture or every time you see the little pink hearts. It's a constant reminder that you have to have policies and procedures, and you have to be very stringent on those.
Following Kelsey's murder, lawmakers passed minimum training standards for CASA volunteers.
The CASA volunteers actually become the eyes and the ears of the judge.
But the state CASA office says the Shawnee program did not provide any training for its volunteers. In this report, the state says the agency only met one of its funding requirements for the year. It was supposed to recruit new volunteers, serve more children, train volunteers, and find additional funding. And according to the report, all were not met. The state office says the new requirements are designed to protect children, so their case does not end like Kelsey's.
We don't want to be sitting across the desk from you and having you say, did this program meet the policies? And we say no, and you say, well, then why did you fund them?
The Shawnee office and the CASA volunteer were originally named in the lawsuit filed by the Kelsey Smith-Briggs family. That part of the lawsuit has been dismissed because volunteers are immune from legal action.